I'm Steve Wiggins, and this is the Groundworks Ministries podcast. Today we're reading from the book of Genesis, chapter 44, so let's focus on verses 32 and 33. Your servant became accountable to my father for the boy, saying, if I do not return him to you, I will always bear the guilt for sinning against you, my father. Now please let your servant remain here as my Lord's slave in place of the boy. Let him go back with his brothers. Genesis 44, verses 32 and 33. So after all the talk of Joseph being a type of Messiah, maybe we should give Judah a closer look as well. The spirit of self-sacrifice, which Judah's speech is revealing, holds parallels to the life story of Moses. Judah offered to remain a slave in Benjamin's place, and Moses sought for God to blot out his name from the book of life unless his people Israel were saved along with him. And the same spirit was displayed in the Apostle Paul, who called himself a voluntary slave of Christ. And he made himself a slave or a servant to all, so that by all means he might win some for the Messiah. In 1 Corinthians chapter 9, verses 19 through 23, Paul also said that he wished that he could be cut off from the Lord, so that others could take his place in the kingdom. And we also see the same sentiment throughout Romans chapter 9. Of course, the greatest display of self-sacrifice was Jesus on the cross. He gave himself completely for our sin debt, and that it would be laid upon him, and that his righteousness could then be imputed into our bankrupt spiritual accounts. As Judah voluntarily offered himself completely accountable for the life of his brother, so Jesus held himself accountable for the disciples that the Lord had given to him. Jesus prayed to the Lord before his crucifixion. In John chapter 18, verse 9, listen to what he said, I have lost none of all that you have given to me. Now for those who have accepted the grace of God through faithful belief in the resurrected Christ, our names have been added to the book of life, and we become sons and daughters of God. Hence, brothers and sisters of Jesus, co-inheritors. And lastly, the Bible even calls Jesus the Lion of Judah. Consider the Revelation chapter 5, verse 5. Then one of the elders said to me, stop crying. Look, the Lion from the tribe of Judah, the root of David, has been victorious so that he may open the scroll and its 7 seals. How much greater than Judah is Jesus, author of creation? He stands in your place of punishment just to save you. Think about these things. I'm Steve Wiggins, and this is the Groundworks Ministries podcast. Check us out at groundworksministries.com.